Hello, welcome back to my garden. I was just installing these last few pieces of edging that I needed to finish this front right here, and I encountered a problem that I didn't think I was going to have, but I did. Basically, this piece plus the end pillar, which I'm going to eventually put on, comes out a little too far that I'm like for this side. So I'm thinking what I need to do now is go back and create a half piece. I've never created a half piece before. There are instructions on the website where I bought the mold on how to create a half piece, so I think I'll do that in the future, because if I have this come out so far, it's going to be, I think, too wide for this bed right here, which is essentially just going to be a boxwood hedge. This is going to be a boxwood hedge too, but I'm just thinking that's maybe a little too far, and this is already, I think, deeper than I wanted it to be, but I already had committed to doing that size. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. I'm not sure. I may actually go with the extra width. I'm really not sure. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you may have noticed I didn't put out a video on Monday. It's because it was just too hot. The heat was just so oppressive on Sunday and Monday. It was just, I couldn't do it. Couldn't bring myself to do it. Today is very humid, but there is a slight breeze blowing, which is nice. And the sun is also not really out. It kind of tries to poke out every once in a while. We may or may not get rain tomorrow. They were threatening that we were going to get rain today, but that's a whole nother story. So, as you can see, I've almost got this project completed. I still have to do the other side, so that will also be in the future, and I don't know if I'll show that to you guys, but if you're interested in seeing me install edging, let me know in the comments below. But until then, I think we got to go do today's project. Let me go show you. I mentioned a moment ago about the rain, and this year, even though we're not under drought conditions, this garden has been drier than last year when we were under drought conditions. So last year, I think for the month of half of May, all of June, no rain. And then we got rain in July, I think halfway through July, so I figure almost 2 months of no rain. I think we maybe got a quarter of an inch. I apologize, I'm just pouring in sweat here. We got maybe about a quarter of an inch. But then we got downpours in between those dry spells. And when I mean downpours, we get 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. I mean, we got rain, especially in August. I think we got hit with a tropical storm or two, or skimmed by something like that. We got a lot of rain, and it was good. It was good for the garden. Been thinking about that. I think what was happening is that the ground got super saturated. And as I've mentioned in prior videos before, probably anywhere from 6 inches to a foot down, depending upon where you are in the garden, is like a layer of clay. So it holds all that moisture. And then the plants can shove their roots when it's really dry right down into that moisture, which is a good thing. And it can draw up that moisture and life is good. So even when we had that month and a half, 2 months of dry, there was moisture available for the plants. This year, June was the last time we got any rainfall. July has been basically dry. There's been a couple of days in July where it would rain for maybe 5 minutes and then stop. So we got maybe 1/8 of an inch. But in June, what was happening was we get a half an inch, quarter of an inch, half an inch, quarter of an inch. But that wasn't enough, because then the heat came. Whatever was underground moisture-wise, I think is getting dried up, used up by the plants as they've been trying to survive the summer heat now in July. So a lot of the plants are suffering. So tomorrow might be our saving grace, where they're threatening us with anywhere from an inch up to 2 to 3 inches, maybe, possibly. It depends upon which way the wind blows. This year, we're getting rain as close as 10 miles to 5 miles to this garden. North, south, east, west. It is raining all around us, except right here. So right here in my little pocket of the world, bone dry. It's crazy. It's crazy. I go 5 miles down the road. They're soaking wet, and the corn is that high, and it's just, everything's green and lush, and things still look green and lush here. But as I mentioned a second ago, many of the plants are definitely suffering. I do go around the vegetable garden almost daily, and I water that. And the flower garden, I probably do every 2 to 3 days. And even if I do go around water, I'm hose watering. It's not the same as getting those couple of inches of rain. Anyways, I'm prattling on, and if you're still watching, thank you. Anywho, so today, I don't know if you guys can see it, but right over here, I have a fig tree. Longtime viewers of the channel, you may have seen me do this. Actually, I think I did this last fall. What I did was I came in here, because as you can see, there's all these grass and there's weeds, and they've all overgrowing the fig tree. And I cleared it all out. I put down a thick layer of cardboard, and then on top of that, I probably put about 6 inches of mulch, pine bark mulch. And as you can see, it is fully overgrown. So it's a mess. Plus, I have some dead branches in here because we got cold enough last year to kill some of the branches, which I didn't know was a thing with fig trees. So, but apparently it is. And it actually even happened to Jason over at Cog Hill Farm. He had a whole row of fig trees where they got all knocked down to the ground. They're all fine now because they all had new growth, much as this one here. In fact, there's even fruit growing on this fig tree. Hopefully, in the next couple of months, that fruit is my wife is able to pick it and eat it because she really likes the figs. I don't like figs, but she likes figs, so I grow it for her. The fencing I have here, it's really just to keep the deer away from the fruit. I think the baby deer will eat young, tender fig leaves too. So that's always a problem. Again, I've got a lot of deer in the area. You gotta try to protect the trees. Where my hope, my goal is one day, I don't know how long it's gonna take because I'm not a fig tree expert, but if you know anything about fig trees, please leave those comments below. But it actually grows to a significant height where maybe the branches are this high, and then the deer aren't going to bother it, or if they do, they only get low-hanging fruit. I'm okay with that. So as long as they don't damage any tree. So it grows like a tree as opposed to more like a bush the way it is now. But if you guys have any hints, tips, suggestions about fig trees, or know a good YouTube resource to educate myself about fig trees, I think I said the same thing last fall, please let me know in the comments below. Now let's get to work.
A few moments later.
Okay, so here's my fig tree. You can probably see it better now. And it looks like it's in pretty good condition. So I think I just want to remove some of these branches, and I'm going to keep doing that because here's a branch. Here's a broken branch hanging by a thread. Not branch, broken. It's dead branch. So I'm going to keep chipping away. I'm concerned about some of these tall grasses because I don't know if I can pull them out. They may wind up getting caught up in the weed whacker. That's the word I'm trying to say. But I'm just going to keep working my way through. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of chop and drop. I'm not going to fight the weeds. I'm not going to try to keep the weeds away. It's not obviously affecting the tree here, so I'm just going to chop and drop, and then everything that's here will rot, and if there's weed seed in here, it's just going to grow back again. Even if I did another cardboard and mulch layer, it's just going to grow back again on me. So I think I'm just going to chop and drop. It basically then becomes mulch / fertilizer. And as I'm standing here, it does feel a bit soft. And I'm thinking that's because underneath there's still some pine bark mulch. Like I said, I put down about 6 inches. This is good because it's all going to rot, and it's all going to just help hopefully fertilize the fig tree here. And then hopefully, as I said earlier, the tree just grows big and huge and wonderful. Back to work. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I bought this weed whacker recently. It's a DeWalt. It's like their cheaper low-end unit, and has quite the little gap here between the motor and the weed head, string head, and this stuff the grass here gets caught up in between. So I think I pushed it too far this time, so now I'm going to take a few minutes to clear it off. So I was mowing along here, and I found this plant that didn't look like anything, and I'll see if I can get a picture of it here, put it up against my leg to get a bit of contrast. But according to my Plant Finder app, it's white aster. I'm guessing it's a native type of aster, and it will flower in the fall, September, October, little white flowers. So I don't think it's going to hurt anything if I try to leave it here. I'll just cut around it and keep on moving on. Some of the grass in the back is really tall. It keeps coming up my weed whacker here, so I'm thinking I may have to come back in with hand tools, which is not something I'm looking forward to. Is that a branch? That's a branch. Oops. I think I'm gonna take that piece out. I did remove a few good live branches that were almost parallel to the ground. Hope it doesn't affect the plant too much. I'm hoping that the plant will put more energy into these taller ones. Again, I don't know much about. You can see some leaves are coming off of the tree here because it's putting energy into new growth and into the fruit. And it's been dry. I got a lot of the stuff here in the back I had to knock down with a pair of hedge clippers as best as I could. I think this is something I'm going to come back maybe in the fall and readdress. Try to neaten it up a bit more, especially when it's not so hot out, because I don't know if you can tell, the sun is out again. It's so hot. But this was a job that has to get done, or had to get done, and if I do the job now, I don't have to do it in the fall. And as I mentioned in previous videos, I have other projects I want to do in the fall, whether it's starting the potting shed or transplant. There's a bunch of plants I want to try to transplant. And there's a few other things I want to do. I think it looks at least a little better. It doesn't look as shabby. I really would like to one day to, when I have more funds available, to replace this cruddy green fencing and rebar stakes with a nicer fence. Something a little more decorative, but high enough to keep the deer away from the tree. The ultimate goal though is one day, and again, I don't know how fast, this is all 1 year of growth. This is all 1 year of growth. So I'm pretty happy about that. So if this is 1 year of growth, I'm hoping maybe in like 3 to 5 years, the tree, especially if I take off any lower limbs, I can have it up more like a tree, and then I don't have to worry about the deer. If they get low hanging fruit, I'm not worried, but I don't want them obviously eating all the good leaves and fruits off of the tree. And there's a couple other branches I see here that I may want to trim out, but I'm not sure. So if you guys have any hints, tips, suggestions, please feel free to leave them below. I'm definitely going to have to put more homework and research into this because I really want this tree to succeed. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click that bell icon to be notified when I do post a new video. This way, hopefully I'm doing something a little more exciting and interesting for you guys as I build out my garden here in Eastern North Carolina, growing zone 8A. With all that being said, I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.